Hello, welcome to Mindfulness for Busy People on August 28th of 2024. I want to acknowledge and appreciate that you've carved out some minutes or some time for mindfulness to take care of yourself and indirectly take care of the people that you love and the people that you're surrounded by. And I want to be here to support you in your journey of mindfulness and break down any myths or judgments around how mindfulness has to look or how it has to be experienced. I want to open up the hallways of your mind with permission to be moving around, to not be staring at the screen, to be even doing something else while you're listening. I would give you permission to draw, doodle, um, ride on sidewalks, anything that your mind feels curious towards or inspired to do while you are practicing some mindfulness. And so, as we're being mindful now simply by bringing our awareness to the concept of mindfulness. And then there's the second concept of awareness, what you're aware of. And I would like for you to find that awareness and move it around the space that you're in. And find a few objects to be aware of that are usually outside of your awareness, things that maybe you overlook or take for granted. Yeah, and see if you notice anything about moving your awareness intentionally in a specific direction. Did it generate any feelings or any thoughts for you? As I bring my awareness to my environment, I recognize stories that belong to objects that I had lost awareness of. Not lost, but had become more distant. So, with your awareness now, can you bring your awareness to your physical body? Can you imagine that your mind is your entire body and your personal space beyond it? Can you move your awareness around your mind body and see how are you doing? You might notice that awareness moves slower than thought. So you might notice a slowing down of your breath that just happens. Just for funsies, see if you can get on the pace that awareness moves. So, scanning your mind, body, and being with your awareness and finding how are you? Can you put that into words, 3 or 4 words to describe how you are right now, physically, emotionally, cognitively? And you might notice that the how you are is across a broad continuum, reflecting the many layers of our humanity and our ability to be multiple things at any given time. And so we've done about 3 mindfulness exercises right now, moving through them somewhat quickly, quicker than traditional mindfulness practices might, but the benefits are still there. So I encourage you to continue as long as you can, but also feel free to pause whenever you need to do as much as you can and appreciate that. Return to it as often as you can, even for a few seconds. So, next exercise, I'd love for you to find your fingers and do some pressure points with each finger to your thumb. Just putting about 50% of effort into making contact here with your fingers and thumb. And see if you can really focus your awareness right here. And just hold your first finger and your thumb together. Take a deep breath in and hold it for 2 to 4 counts. Exhale slowly, relaxing your hands when you do. Wiggling your fingers, wiggle your toes, and see if you can press your toes to the ground, whatever ground you might be in contact with. See if you can do it one toe at a time. It's okay if your toes are in a shoe and the shoe's connected to the ground. Just keep your big toe now pressed into the ground, about 50% effort. Think about relaxing the rest of your body, just putting pressure with your big toe. Now push your little toe into the ground and relax your feet, wiggle your toes, wiggle your ankles, and take your two middle fingers, put one right here in your forehead, and put one right on your sternum, so in the lower part of your chest, and about 30% effort. Just put pressure here on these points. Just stay curious, but not analyzing here. And shake out your hands and just see, how do you feel now? Is it the same or different? How relaxed, how tense do you feel? Percentage of 100%. How open does your mind feel? Does your heart feel? Just keeping your awareness with your mind body. How's your body communicating? Just taking your hands and rubbing, doing some warm friction, your arms, on your legs, hands. Just do some replenishing here, creating some warmth through your hands, but also using your intention to add. Let's add something here. Do you want to add some compassion? Do you want to add some peace? Do you want to add some confidence? Whatever you feel like you could use a little more of, just blow it into your hands and then put it on your head. Rub your hands together again. Whatever you need is already here. You already have it. We just need to redistribute it. So let's add it. Blow it into your hands and put it on your throat. And just follow the curiosity of your mind, follow the spontaneous thoughts that are coming to you. Add your special ingredient, put it on the back of your neck. Couple more of these, create some warmth and friction, add your special ingredient that you'd like more of, and put it over your heart. And we need to get to your lower abdomen, so I'm going to stand up for this one. Rub your hands together, add your special ingredient, and put it right here in your lower abdomen. And while we're here, let's just break up some of the energy in our hip flexors that come from sitting a lot. Tap the sides of your legs all the way down to your ankles and back up your inner thigh. Down the backs of your legs. And round to your lower back. And on your right side. On your left side. And with your fingers, right here at your collarbone. And then on your lungs. And down one arm, outside and then inside. As you're doing this, you might want to add some intention from your mind to encourage your body to do what it already is doing, but with a little bit of support to repair, to restore anything that has been damaged. When we add the energy of our intention, it's like turning the volume up on the radio. You just get more of it. Maybe it would feel good to you to roll your shoulders a few times, massaging your back. Do it with the effort that would actually like feel massaging. That would feel nice and feel comforting. So not just rolling your shoulders just to be rolling them, but again, adding that intention of I want to do something nice for my back, for my shoulders, and for my neck. The only place that we can really measure our intention is towards ourself. We really can't measure intention that we have towards others, although we try to do that a lot. But we do have a lot of control over the intention that we direct towards ourselves. I'm going to clasp my hands behind me. Just open up my chest. Noticing what intention or permission accompanies this for you. Is it okay to open your heart? Is it okay to let go of something? Is it okay to be welcoming something new, something old? And shake your arms out, shake your legs out, your hips, and your torso, and your head. Do that until it feels like it's time to stop, as long as you want to. And then we're going to spend a whole minute, which seems like a long time when you're being mindful, in a forward fold. So you're going to take your hands, just roll them down slide them down your legs, and you're going to be bend in half. And as much as you can, you're just going to hang out there. A new version of the hangout. And as you do that, think about your spine, your nervous system, being able to relax, being able to align. And our minute will start in a few seconds. Getting ready. And go. And slowly roll yourself back up, slower than I did. And reach one arm up to the sky and one down to the ground, but don't bend over. Just reach. And then switch and reach. Make a little windmill with your arms. So you go back, reach. You're reaching down and you're reaching up. Both arms up. Grab all the energy you need for right now in the environment around you. Pour it over you. Take a deep breath in and sigh out your exhale. And see how you feel. We did several more mindful exercises there. And Maybe you have to go. Maybe that's all you can do today. However much you can do is wonderful. Maybe there's something, some of those exercises that you want to return to. Maybe you want to remember, grab some water, keep water near you all the time. And if you are sticking around for Returning to a Child's Mind, our last book in the series, um, find a comfortable position. Keeping in mind that comfortable could be different now than it was before, and the permissions are still wide open for you if you want to be still or if you want to move around. Let's just notice and respect a pause here. Transitions are wonderful for pausing. Pausing just allows us to catch up with ourselves, the many layers of what we are. Yeah, and you know that your pause has been useful when you feel settled, pretty much the opposite of push through. And so our series has been returning to a child's mind, and I just want to give you an opportunity to reflect on your mind as a child, which might take you to some particular memories. But move your awareness less to what was happening and more to how you responded to what happened. How did curiosity show up for you? What ways did your playfulness come through? What things brought you the most joy as a child? And how do you notice these attributes in your current daily life? Can you imagine how it would be if you we're able to integrate more of these attributes into your adult life. What if it were possible to be childlike and adult? What if it were possible to bring maturity and wisdom alongside youthfulness, innocence? And what if adulting was not so dreadful? I can think of one benefit of returning to a child's mind is the amount of openness and curiosity that children have for learning, also remembering, experiencing, and those things are really key ingredients for growth. And so there's a lot that we can connect with through children's stories if we give ourselves permission to read children's stories, even if we're not children, or even if we're not reading them to children. Today is today we're going to use a story that's not quite a children's story, but it is a illustrated story called "The Parts Inside of Me" by Shelley Johnson. And this story is about the multiple layers of us, the strategic mechanisms of us as humans, the relationships that we have internally and externally. This story is also about a core nature essence being that we are, regardless of what is happening in us or around us. So it's a psychological perspective, also intersects with many different spiritual philosophies. It's it's a way of considering how to relate to yourself, and it's full of concepts that actually children pick up really easily, like they already have an awareness of it, whereas adults find these concepts a little bit harder to conceptualize, um, from some of the binary, dualistic training, education that adults have received. So, as we listen to the story being read, I'm grateful for the one person out there who read this story and made a video for us. I want to invite you to, really sit back, meaning let your awareness stay back as well, and just observe and let the story kind of move in front of you without like trying to absorb it or trying to make meaning of it. And just let the story be in its own space. And later we'll take time to pick out things that you want to digest or that you resonate with. Um, but let's slow down our processing as we hear this story called The Parts Inside of Me. I'm going to share my screen, and here we go.
It's me, David, and I'm with my brother, and we're gonna read a book called The Part Inside of Me. It's kind of like a book that you have parts inside of you as well, so this gets
Deep inside my body and all around my head, there's a circle of beings who sometimes feel misread. I'm here to give you some time to sit with them a while and listen deeper within to meet the ones exiled. But before I come close to those I keep at bay, I greet mighty protectors who guard along the way. There's a legion of parts who need some room to grow and tell so many stories of which I'd love to know. No parts is off limits. Once we venture inside, some parts poke their heads right out, while others run and hide. The parts have clever ways to show you they are real. They move around the body and tell you what they feel. Our parts are here to stay, and won't always agree. It's impossible to choose our inner family. I have a part in me who cannot stand the rest. It often tries to flood me, believing it knows best. Come see the one who's sad, that weeps and cries at night, or the one under covers that lives his days in fright. One wants for me to go, and one asks me to stay. One bulldozes through others to get out of its way. I have a part in me that's quick to raise its brow and ask me repeatedly, whose side are you on now? There's one who wants to fight and tying up its fist. Its rage is an inferno that no one can resist. One worries all the time and cannot sit too still. It rumbles in my stomach. Believe me, it's no thrill. One carries a long list and it has a bossy voice. It tells me I do things wrong as if I have no choice. I have a sneaky part who looks for an escape. It dances with disaster, yet caught in its own wake. I have a part that says, I will not budge. It does whatever it wants, and sometimes holds a grudge. Beneath all the layers, there's a part that holds shame, while another part points out accomplices to blame. There's a part speaking up, scolding me for a mess. It pushes all my buttons and does not let me rest. I have a part that's still, obsesses over things. It really hasn't a clue how much chaos it brings. Protector softened back, an effort to disarm after exile promised self not to pull the alarm. A part feels embarrassed that now you see its flaws, and it lets you in this close without taking a pause. See my adventure part, chasing the next new thrill. It lives its life on the edge until it rolls downhill. There's a part of me who wants to change its route. It second guesses my worth and tries to snuff me out. Where is the know it all? That part lives in here too. It fears others finding out just how little it knew. Part of me wears the cape and is swept on his feet. Its nature is to rescue and nurture your relief. I have a part in me that could follow the pack or will spread itself too thin like a human doormat. There's a part that misses the way it used to be. It wishes you were still here, although time sets you free. How about my shy part that carries so much doubt, or the tingling part that numbs and tries to take me out? I have a part in me that chases affliction. It's desperate to belong, to ward off rejection. I have a quiet part that hurts on the inside. It keeps too many secrets in order to survive. Here are the parts that giggles and laughs without a care. Some parts hide behind the smile when they're afraid to share. Bless the parts that struggles to understand its faith. It seeks for a higher truth beyond reason or fate. A game of hide and seek is sometimes how it feels, but nothing comes to surface until you reach the pills. And if a part gets stuck, it often has a fear. Bringing curiosity allows for us to hear. We have a wiser self that stays above the fray. It's able to take the lead on any given day. I now know its presence. Its energy is calm, and it's aimed to help my parts find ways to get along. There are times that I feel lost inside my own head, but it's worth the giant leap to love myself instead. I could witness for you like you witnessed for me, and we could bring compassion towards inner harmony. I am the way I am. It's clear for all to see how much I completely love the parts inside of me. The world could be a kind place. What a gift we could believe that the parts you see in others might reside in you and me.
I want to make my
Another pause. Where we do some reflection on the story. And I invite you to notice, how do you feel about this idea of parts inside of you? Parts with personality, And what is your experience with parts inside of you? Do some help you out? Do some hold you back? Do some try to take you out? Do some push you down? Are there some that lift you up? And what about that wiser self? The one above the fray? The one that sees and witnesses and wants to help the parts get along? Have you experienced that before? What is your awareness of that wiser self now? Can you imagine how it would be if your wiser self was free and could lead the parts of you out of love towards collaboration and harmony? Can you imagine how it would be for you to see and love the parts of other people? Can you imagine how the world might be if more people listened with love to the parts of them? What parts of you are active now? Thinking parts, feeling parts? How much calmness is also there? Is your mind offering you a picture, an image? About your parts, about yourself? Anything else that you notice? Anything else that feels important from the story? Any intentions that you want to set to follow up on? Maybe draw your image or share something with someone else, or share the story, one of your parts. As we start to wrap up, let me invite you on your next breath to move your awareness more to the room that you're in. Keeping the window of the inside open, building this skill called dual awareness, having awareness inside and out, allows you to experience life more fully, more fulfilling. Go ahead and let your awareness even spread out to what's coming up next in your day. And then see, how are you? And are there 2 or 3 words that you could choose to describe how you are now? And would it feel good to stretch? If so, don't withhold that from yourself. Do that. I want to thank you for practicing with me and caring about humanity, caring about self compassion. And I look forward to practicing with you next time. Take good care.